Yo, people, what you telling me? Back again with another one. Footy talk settings. Once, what's good, my bro?
All good, man. All good. Just taking in what's going on in the footballing world right now. Another embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? Another embarrassment for Real Madrid. You know what I'm saying? I'm told man about promiscuous junior. You know what I'm saying? That fake Brazilian and nothing for his nation. You know what I'm saying?
I hear it.
Cries and tries. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the same energy. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the same energy. It's giving Brazilian NPC.
You know what killed me
You know what
though,
I'm saying?
bro? The celebration, bro.
Oh,
Like,
same
bruv,
as Garnacho.
yeah, bro, them man are down. How many and man celebrating like that? It's like, bro, allow it, man. It's
It's
over.
mad. Like they
You know
was
it's
onto
over.
something.
We did.
Like he
No
was onto
shame.
something. No shit.
Yeah,
It's the
bro.
same as you tucking in his shirt, bro. Same
Bro,
thing.
shame is free, you know.
It's crazy.
It's free of charge, fam.
It's
A man's
crazy,
moving
bro.
around like that. It's
You know what I'm
crazy, man.
saying?
I mean, big up the chat though. Do you know what I mean? No, we have to get we have to get into the conversations, bro. Because I've been telling man about these frauds, blood, at Madrid. And the thing is,
Mm.
as a Liverpool fan, you know firsthand, do you know what I mean, how it feels, yeah, to
Mm-hmm.
be slapping up Real Madrid and come out on the wrong side of the result. Like
Yeah.
these things happen. Do you know what I'm saying? And it happens to a lot of
Two
teams. And
finals.
this
Two
is probably
finals.
the first time that they've got what's coming to them, bro. Because like man said last season,
Man
man
City.
remember the Leipzig game, man remember the Dortmund game. I think a couple seasons ago, Dortmund were
City.
absolutely spliffing them. The City game, bro. Like they've been doing this to teams, you know. They've been like, if Declan Rice didn't score them 2 free kicks, Arsenal would have ended up going out. You know, that's what would have ended up happening because Real Madrid would have found a
Mm.
way to scumbag it, bro. They would have. Like, and on another day, yeah, the penalties given yesterday as well. You know them ones. Like on
Yeah.
another day, bro. Like things did go for us.
If that penalty was what 88th minute, I think it's getting given.
Yeah, but even so, like the fact that it wasn't given at the Bernabeu, that's weird because we're used to seeing teams get robbed there. You know, like that.
All the
We're
time.
used to seeing it. So it's almost like Perez never paid. He never paid that down payment, bro. Do you know what I mean? The check must have bounced, bro, because bro, the amount of time they took to make that decision at Real Madrid, and my man went against the grain. And to be fair, if one of them are penalties, they're both penalties, isn't it? I don't think either of them were pens, but the fact that Real Madrid's one wasn't given at Real Madrid, it's like rare. Like, what's going on
Mm.
there?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I just look at the tactics, man, and as I said, they've done the Harlem Globetrotters thing. And you go back 20 years ago when Beckham fucked off,
Mhm.
you know, and he was supposed to be the final piece of the puzzle, and then things there. And what did they win? How many Champions League did they win with that star-studded team? None.
And no,
Nothing.
yeah.
Nothing, bro. It didn't work because you need balance. When
Mhm.
Hosselu was there, and I'm not saying Hosselu is the reason why he won everything, but when they had a number 9, do you know what I'm saying? And two wingers that were willing to facilitate, when they were more
Oh, it's
balanced,
just
they
balance, my
got really
bro.
deep.
That's
It's
it.
just simple balance. When Brahim Diaz is naturally playing on the right and not having to shoehorn Rodrigo on the right,
Mhm.
balance conquers all. All you need is a bit of balance. Do you
But
know what
we're
I'm
seeing it.
saying?
We're seeing it at PSG as well.
Lamar Lewandowski and Rafinha, I will take that front three all day long over Vinny, Mbappe, and Rodrigo. All day long.
Mm.
I'm taking Barcelona's front three because there's balance. That's all you need. How about this? Arsenal's front three was more balanced than Real Madrid's, and that's Marino, Saka, and Martinelli
VFX.
because it's balanced. That's the bottom line. Martinelli didn't look too different from Vinny Jr., and that's
Mhm.
saying something. That's
Bro,
saying something.
it's facts, bro. Look at this, bro. How could, bro? They lost Mbappe on a free and ended up coming out on the better side of the deal.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at these games, yeah, and obviously there's been a lot of Declan Rice world class shouts, Saka world class shouts. I've always said Saka's on the cusp. I don't think he's world class. I don't think Declan Rice is world class either. But I think they're doing very well and they deserve their plaudits. I think Partey is the one who should be getting a lot of the plaudits. I think Partey has been one of the best. I mean, they're gonna miss him against PSG in that first leg at the
Mm.
Emirates, but I think Partey is the one who probably hasn't got maybe all the plaudits he probably deserves over the 2 legs. Rice will obviously take the headlines. He's had 2 good games. against Real Madrid, which is massive. And I still feel like from an Arsenal perspective, I've got to be balanced. What they've done to Real Madrid is one of the best results you've seen in Champions League history over the years.
It is results-wise, it is 100%.
Results-wise, you look at Man City's one a couple of years ago, that one's up there as well. You know, you look at Liverpool's one over Madrid in 09, 5-0 over 2 legs. That one's up there as well. But I've given you 2 results over the last 15 years, 16 years. So that will tell you how significant beating Madrid is over 2 legs, 5-1. I'm not really hearing. I know Madrid are class. I know they're crap. I know they've been shown levels by multiple teams this year, including my own. Do you know what I'm saying? I've showed them levels, but
this year they've been poor in general, bruv. Even in the league,
in general. But you still have to get the job done because guess what?
Right.
Real Madrid have been poor in general in other years. It's just that because it was a while ago, people actually haven't really remembered it. Real Madrid are not La Liga's finest. They've won 4 La Ligas in the last like 15 years.
Yeah, but this
I might be wrong.
No, you're not far wrong. But here's the thing, bro.
Yeah, so
like the reason why I'm giving Arsenal credit, is because Real Madrid have been stinky for ages, but they still get away with it, and Arsenal didn't let them off the hook. You know them ones. That's what it was. Because make no mistakes about it, this was a poor Real Madrid team, and not only were they a poor Real Madrid team, it didn't take a great performance to beat them. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't one of them things where I was like, yo, this is some scintillating stuff and whatever. Like, it was an exciting game because, like, the first game, it was exciting because the game was in the balance. Whereas before, if Real Madrid were at the level that you would expect them to be at, the game shouldn't have looked like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was very entertaining from a neutral standpoint, but Real Madrid's actual level was poor. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's impossible that we saw the best Arsenal because they had so many players missing. Do you know what I'm saying? But we didn't have to see the best Arsenal for them to dispatch of Real Madrid. And I think that speaks volumes about where Real Madrid are right now. Because Gabriel's a big player for Arsenal.
Wasn't there?
Now, Jesus is a big player for them. Havertz is a big player for them. He is, whether we like him or not. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, quite some big attackers are just not there, and it didn't matter. Do you know what I'm saying? And this was near. I know Real Madrid had injuries, but I believe that Real Madrid's injuries should have been in positions that they could manage a bit better. Do you know what I mean? Like, Arsenal lost most of their firepower and still managed to dispatch of Real Madrid.
They put Marino up top. They put Marino up top and beat them 5-1, bro. That in itself.
Cool, there was 2 free kicks. 2 of the goals were free kicks and that, whatever. But the point is, Real Madrid were hanging on for their life in the first leg, bro. They were holding on for their life, bro. Clearing shots off the line, goalkeepers making saves. They could have scored 6 goals. They could have scored 6 goals in open play in the first game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this thing about Arsenal being set up tactically perfectly, I just think Arsenal set up the way they always set up, bro. And their style was just too wrong. It was just all wrong for Real Madrid. That's all it was. Like, you know what Arsenal are gonna do? They're gonna be tough to break down. They're gonna get amongst you. They're quite a physical team now. That's how Arteta's kind of remodeled them. And Real Madrid couldn't match their physicality anywhere. In the midfield, they couldn't match their physicality. On the ball, Real Madrid weren't good enough. They weren't at the usual level. They're not the level of the Kroos, Modric, and Casemiro level, bro. It's nowhere near that, bro. Like, I mean, like, Modric is an old man.
And you have to look at, do you know what it is? And you have to look at styles in the sense that I was watching Madrid play and everything was going to the wide areas. And this is what I say when I say styles make fights. That was perfect. I generally think Real Madrid would still struggle against certain Premier League sides. Because Arsenal aren't the only team that's set up like that. If you look at when we played Real Madrid, we set up like that. We set up in a way at times where when it was time for them to break us down, we sat in 2 backs of 4.
Yeah.
And they weren't doing niche because they don't have a striker. So therefore, they're trying to fire in these low crosses. They're trying to look at these one-on-one. They're trying to isolate the one-on-ones. But because they're not moving the ball fast enough in midfield to isolate Mbappe with one defender or to isolate Rodrigo with one defender, they're forced to cross the ball. And crossing the ball against Arsenal's back line is pointless.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, there's no point. Arsenal's box defending is magnificent.
Especially aerial crosses.
Yeah,
You know
the
what I
aerial
mean?
ones. I'm talking specifically about the aerial crosses.
Yeah.
So them man spamming crosses to who? Because Rudiger was having to go up front at large parts of that game. It was given desperate. It was given desperate, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who are they crossing the ball to? And this is what I mean when I say Arsenal's front three was more balanced than
It
theirs.
was.
Because if Arsenal crossing the ball, they have a target man. They actually have an issue to deal with. They're looking to win the second balls. Odegaard's not at his best. No, as you said, they're missing their fire. They're missing firepower and no Gabriel. And they were still made Real Madrid look average.
Yeah.
So for the reason why, as I said, we can downplay Real Madrid, and I will continue to downplay Real Madrid because again, it's a fuck Madrid thing. You might know why. It's a fuck Madrid thing. But I'm giving Arsenal the credit because no one really had Arsenal beating Real Madrid anyway. So
that's where I am. That's where I am. You have to give Arsenal the job credit for getting the job done, but we're not going to sit here and pretend that over 2 legs this Real Madrid team were any good. Like even at home, they weren't good. Do you know what I mean? And it's not a thing where Arsenal stopped them from playing. They weren't good. They just weren't good. Like, do you know what I'm saying? There was no quality from them at any moment in over those 2 legs. Like, in what moments of quality can we remember from Real Madrid at all, bro? Over 180 minutes, none.
No,
It was
literally, again, if anything was going to happen, it was from an Arsenal mistake. It was never going to be
facts.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? It was never ever going to be like a well-worked goal, or it was only going to be a set piece or Arsenal mistake.